Yan, Duque. Hello? Hello, class.
Good morning, sir. We are here, sir.
Okay, good morning. Um, the topic for our discussion today is life insurance and motor insurance. Life and motor insurance. And I know that we all have heard that word before. The question I have for the whole class is why life insurance? Why life insurance? We all don't want to die. If you ask somebody, ah, Mr. Hakim or Mr. Joseph, why are you subscribing to a life insurance policy knowing fully well that you are not going to benefit from it? The man will just answer, is for my family. Life insurance can be defined as a contract between an insured and an insurance company where the insurer agrees to pay a named beneficiary a sum of money upon the death of the insured within a speculated period at any time it occurs. Did you get that definition,
Come again,
Governor?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Life insurance, take for instance now in our country, there is a lot of insecurity. It is not even safe for somebody to leave Lagos going to Ibadan. Any wise man, any wise Nigeria that has a wife and children, or maybe dependents, let me put it that way, because if you don't have a wife and children, you can have brother and aged parents, and you know that you are the breadwinner of that family. The most sensible thing for you to do is to walk into an insurance company and obtain a life insurance policy. Because if something happens to you, the family might be in limbo. Yes, the insurance company will not be able to bring you back when you are dead. But at least your financial obligation to your dependents will always be met. That is the purpose of life insurance. You must have heard of indemnity. Indemnity is what is an insurance term that makes the insurance company to put you back in the position you were before your loss. But when it comes to life, cars, if cars got burnt, it can be bought again. If cars got damaged or property got damaged, let's say a car got damaged now, it can be repaired. You can even be given a brand new car to replace the one that you have lost. But in a situation of life insurance, life cannot be brought back. When somebody loses his life, the life is gone forever. But what the insurance company is responsible for is the person's financial obligation to his dependents. So let me define what life insurance is in a simple term. A life insurance is a promise to help the person's family with his financial obligation if the person eventually dies. Of course, it doesn't come free. The person too must have his own obligation to the insurance company, and that is the premium. The person and the insurance company will sit down, discuss the sum that the insurance company is going to give should in case he is no more. And the insurance company in returns will calculate the premium for the person to pay at the end of either every year or every month, depending on how suitable the payment is to the person. Do you guys get that explanation before going ahead?
Yes, well understood, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me define life insurance. You know, the only thing that is constant in life is death. Yes, the only thing that is constant in life is death, that is certain. But the time of death and the place of death is what you and I don't know. Even the insurance company does not know that. That is why the person with the policy is always termed the assured, because the insurance company, which is the assurer, is going to assure the person a particular sum at the end of the transaction. Because from inception, the terms has to be agreed upon. As the person that wants the policy is given a particular amount to be paid, so also the insurance company will also tell the person the value of what the insurance is going to pay if the person is no more. So please, you can take this down. Life insurance, this can be defined as a contract between an assured and an assurer, where the assured agrees to pay a named beneficiary a specific sum of money. Am I too fast?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
I'm too fast. Okay,
Yes, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
let me come again. Life insurance can be defined as a contract between an assured and an assurer, where the assurer agrees to pay a named beneficiary a specific sum of money called benefits upon the death of the insured within a stipulated period. Can I go ahead?
Yes,
Sure.
Yes,
sir.
please.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Don't forget that in exchange for that benefit, the person called the insured or the assured must pay a premium. No premium, no contracts. Please note that once there is no premium, there is no contract. Even if the person have been paying for 5, 10 years and he decides not to pay for a particular year, if the person should die, that's the end of the contract. The beneficiary will not get any benefits. Please, I want you to understand one fundamental thing when we are talking about life insurance. The insurance company can never bring the persons back to life. It is only the financial obligation of that person that the insurance company is interested in. And they cannot pay above what has been agreed upon. I hope you note that.
Yes, sir.
Please come again, sir.
What I said is that we should have it in mind that no matter how much or how high the person's premium is, the insurance company can never bring the person back to life. The only thing the insurance company can do is to ensure that it fulfills the financial obligation of the dead person. And that financial obligation will, will never be above the sum that has been agreed upon at the inception of the contract. Take, for instance, now, if the sum assured is 300 billion, or let's say 100 million, and the financial, yes, it's 100 million, the insurance company will not say because we have higher inflation or the exchange rate is not what it used to be, and now pay above the 100 million that has been agreed upon. The insurance company will never do that. That is why in an insurance life policy, it is better for whoever wants to go into it to actually ascertain what he or she wants. Take for instance now, you know, in the process of trying to, you can say one of the, you can put it to the insurance company that one of the clauses that you want is for your children to finish university even when you are no more. So irrespective of inflation or foreign exchange instability, it is the duty of the insurance company to make sure that those children go to university and finish it. I'm just saying all this so that some of us that might be interested in obtaining a life insurance policy actually know, because you yourself can sit down and draft everything that you want and you pass it to them, and they will do their own calculations and give you a sum that they are willing to accept the risk, for them to accept the risk. Because before an insurance company can accept a risk, they will have to tell you at what price the risk is worth covering from their own part. I hope you understand what I've just said. Please, if you don't understand, let me know so that I can break it down further.
Well understood.
Thank you.
Please, sir, come again, please.
Okay. What I just said is that, insurance contracts are being drafted by lawyers, and there are some terms that might not be that familiar with an ordinary person. So it is better you engage them with what you understand and tell them what you want. Because in a life insurance contract, if the sum assured has been settled, the insurance company will not go above what has been agreed upon to pay. And if you look at our country, like Nigeria, currency is perpetually being eroded by inflation and foreign exchange instability. So these are two factors, two things that you have to put into consideration if you want a life policy. Because today, your school fees might be let's say 100,000. In the next 4 years, it might not be 100,000 again. And you want your children to go to school. God forbid bad thing. If anything happens, the insurance company will tell you that, as at the time of this contract, it is 5 million we agree that we are going to reimburse your family. But if it is included in the contract that one of the clauses there is that the insurance company must ensure that your children will go to the university, irrespective of the sum assured, it is there. It is their obligation to see to it that the children actually went to that university if they are capable. The financial obligation will now shift from you, since you are no more, to the insurance company. And that is why in a life insurance contract, it is always being referred to as compensation, because that is the only thing. The human life cannot, there is no value that can be placed on a human life. Look at those kidnappers now. When they kidnap somebody, they tell the person to go and bring 10 million. But in the real sense, the person might not have that 10 million. But the value of that person to his family, to his wife and children, is well above that 10 million. But he doesn't have the 10 million. And to the kidnappers, what they want is just 10 million. So insurance companies are aware of that. That is why the only thing they are interested in is your financial obligations to your children and your wife, or maybe the extended family, as agreed upon before the contract. That is what makes life insurance different from property or motor insurance. Because property, one can suffer a partial loss in property. One can suffer a partial loss in motor insurance. But when it comes to life, there is nothing like partial loss. When the life is gone, the life is gone. I hope you understand what I've just said. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Sir.
And the insurance company again, you know, one of the questions they will ask you, there must be an insurable interest for an individual that wants a life insurance policy. I know that for me, nobody can like me more than myself. That is why whoever wants to obtain a policy, a life insurance policy, one of the things to be considered is the insurable. The person must have an insurable interest. Take for instance now, somebody that I don't know cannot go and obtain a life insurance policy on my behalf. The insurance company will not accept that. Do you understand what I've just said?
Not really, sir.
Okay, what I'm saying is that, you know, life insurance contract, life insurance contract. Somebody, a politician, can just say, in this Unilag, I need 10 DLI students. I want to obtain a life insurance policy for them. The insurance company will not accept that, except there is a relationship between that politician and those 10 students. It has to be established. There must be an insurable interest. I don't think, do you understand what I'm trying to say? The person
Yes.
cannot go behind you to obtain it in your name. The person must bring you to the insurance company. The person must bring you to the insurance company. You guys must know, they must interview you. There must be a kind of connection. Because it is easier for kidnappers too to go and get a life insurance contract and start kidnapping and killing people. Because they have no insurable interest. The only interest they have there is just to make money for them. They will now name themselves as a beneficiary. So the insurance company will always try to guide against that. Before a contract can be in place, there must be an insurable interest. There must be an insurable interest. I hope Agbola or Lekeli has taught you guys indemnity, insurable interest, proximate cause, and all those things. Have you been taught?
Sir.
I can't hear you.
Yes,
Sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
So you know what insurable interest is? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
So now, there are 4 types of insurance policies. Number 1, we have term assurance. Term assurance is a temporary policy that pays a benefit only if the insured dies within a specified time frame. Let me come again. Term assurance is a temporary policy that pays a benefit only if the insured dies within a specified time frame. Did you get that?
No, sir. No,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Come.
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. Term assurance. Why I'm using assurance is because in life insurance policy, the insurance becomes an assurance because it is certain that somebody is going to die. Assurance is only used when life is involved. But if it is motor or property, you can still say insurance. And the first type of life insurance or assurance that I want to mention is term assurance. Why is it term assurance? It is term assurance because the policy only pays the benefits to the beneficiary if the insured dies within a specified time. Let me explain. Assuming you work for Chisco and you are now seconded or transferred to Maiduguri, and there's nothing you can do about it. You now held a meeting with your family, your children. Your children told you, Daddy, don't go to my ISIS. Of course, you will respond by telling them, I don't have any other job. This is the only job that I have. Let me go. I don't want you children to go hungry. But don't worry. I know what to do. You now go to an insurance company, you explain to them that you want to purchase a term assurance policy of, let's say, 20 million. They now tell you what you'll be paying every month. One of the first questions they will ask you is, how long do you want the policy to be in place for? If you now tell them, well, Chisco company told me I'll be there for 6 years, and you both agree for the years, the insurance company, hello, I,
We are with you, sir.
can
We
you
are.
guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
We're
We are
with
with
you,
you,
Uh-huh.
sir.
sir.
Loud
The
and clear.
insurance company,
We are with you, sir.
the insurance company will only pay that person if the person dies within that 6 years. You know, the only reason he went to the insurance company is because he's afraid that if he goes to Boronu, he might be killed by Boko Haram. That's the only reason he went for the policy. So the insurance company too will tell him that, look, this is term assurance policy. Oh. The only reason the beneficiary will get anything from us is if you die within those 6 years. But if the person does not die within that 6 years, no benefit will be paid to the beneficiary. Do you understand what I've just said?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Aren't you curious? Term assurance. Because I want you guys to be asking me questions. That, why would it be like that? Because if the person should survive that 6 years and come back to Lagos, the insurance company will not pay anything. And that's the end of the contract. Because he did not die. So that
Sir.
is. You want to say something?
Yeah, I want to ask, can it be extended?
Of
The
course, it can be extended. It can. So the second type of life insurance policy we'll be discussing is the whole life policy that we all know. Of course, whole life policy has nothing to do with survivorship. Once you obtain it, a benefit will be paid whenever the death of the policy holder occurs. And this kind of policy usually are used for collaterals to obtain loan from the bank. Another type of life insurance policy is the endowment policy. The endowment policy is a policy that summed both the whole life policy and the term assurance. What do I mean by this? You know, whole life policy benefit will be paid if the policy holder is dead. Benefit will be paid to the beneficiary, the stated beneficiary, once the policy holder life policy. While term assurance policy, that one pays benefit if the person dies within a stipulated time. So when you consider these two stringent conditions together, the insurance company now said, okay, we are losing business because people, after going to a dangerous place and they don't die, they discover that whatever they have paid to the insurance company cannot be gotten back. And they felt that they are at a loss. So they stopped coming to purchase term assurance. Secondly, there is another group. What is the benefit of me taking a life insurance policy? Something that is not going to benefit me. Every man for himself. You know, there are some people like that. They do not care about their dependents. Whatever they cannot enjoy, they will not give it to their dependents or their friends. So an insurance company now came up with an idea that, okay, I have a policy that for a particular period of time, maybe 10 or 15 years. If you die, we give the money to your beneficiary. If you are alive, we still give you the money. Do you understand what I've just said?
Sir, can you please come again on it, sir, please?
Okay. Endowment policy. I started by saying term assurance, like our friend that went to Boronu that thought he was going to die, that did not die. You know, he can come back and say, I've spent 1 million on policy. It's a waste of money. This kind of insurance contract, I don't think is a good kind of contract. I'm not interested in it again. And there are some people too that by nature, whatever that cannot benefit them, they are not interested in it. The benefit must come to them first before they can now say, okay, wife, you two come. Children, you two come. Mama, come. There are some people like that. So the insurance company now looked at the two situations that, okay, let us accommodate the two interests. Those that feels once they are not dead, their money is wasted. And those that believes that, look, whatever I'm going to give my wife and children, I should be the first person to enjoy it. They now came up with a policy called endowment policy. This endowment policy is a policy that runs on a duration. Once such a contract with an insurance company, even if the person dies, the beneficiary will be paid. If the person is alive, once it is after the years agreed upon between the person and the insurance company, usually referred to as maturity date, the insurance company will still pay the policyholder. Did you get me now?
Yes, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Yes, sir.
Uh, so the endowment fund took care of the concerns of those that do not want whole life policy and term assurance. Remember, when I was explaining the term assurance, I said benefit will only be paid if the person dies within that year. If the person do not die within that specified duration of years that is going to stay in Boronu, the insurance company will not pay anything. So the next one now is the cash value policies. The cash value policies are policies that includes a surrender value, allowing the policyholder to terminate the contract before maturity and receive a sum of money. Take for instance now, if you have an assurance policy with an insurance for a duration of 20 years, and maybe in the 12th year, you felt that, look, things are not that rosy the way it used to be. Once there is a surrender value in the contract, you can approach the insurance company and tell them that, look, my friend, Nigeria is a bit tough. I want to surrender this policy. The insurance company will calculate what you are entitled to at the period you are surrendering the policy and give you back your money. Do you understand what I've just said?
Sir, please, sir, can you come again with the definition, sir?
Good. The cash value policies is a policy that includes surrender value in an insurance contract. usually an endowment policy. You know, you go to an insurance company, you have a policy in place, and the duration is supposed to be 20 years, and you have been paying premium for like 15 years. You now felt like, whoa, Nigeria is not rosy again. Or Britain or Australia, that you have no business in Nigeria. You want to go and settle there and you are not coming back with your children, with your family. You can decide to approach the insurance company and tell them that you want to withdraw. You know, the contract, you are supposed to get a benefit at the maturity of the contract, which is 20 years. But you can no longer wait for that 20 years because your plans have changed. So you can go to the insurance company and apply for your money to be given back to you. And that can only be done if there is a surrender value in the contract. That kind of contracts are called the cash value policies. Do you understand me now?
Yes, sir. I want to ask a question.
Feel free to ask questions. So if you don't understand, please. You know, this is virtual. If I'm
Yeah,
in
so
class now, if we can see
Please, I
ourselves,
don't
we'll know.
understand.
You don't
hello, sir.
understand?
When the person surrenders the contract, right?
Yeah.
Is he going to get the full payment he has been making with the insurance company?
You know, the thing is that when you enter a contract, the two of you will agree on a particular sum to be paid at a particular time. So that sum assured, you know, you did not wait for the contract to mature. So definitely you are not going to be paid the maturity value. But you will be given substantial amount of money after administrative expenses and some other expenses will have been deducted. But you will never get the full benefit because you did not wait till that time. It will be calculated. And the value, that's why it's called cash value policy. The value of what you are going to be getting at that point will be given to you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Also,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
Uh,
is which of the policy can be used as collateral, as bank collateral?
the one that can be used for bank collateral is the whole life policies. The whole life policy can be used as bank collateral because the insurance company is aware that the person is doing a selfless service. He's paying for something he will not eat from. So if the bank is informed about the surrender, the sum assured, of course, they can loan you money. They know that they are safe. If anything happens to you, they will go back to the insurance company and redeem their money. They do it a lot, particularly abroad, and they have started it in Nigeria too. Businessmen do that a lot. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Do you get me now?
We can
Completely,
hear
sir. Thank you, sir.
we can hear you, sir.
Uh-huh. So that is that. But another thing I want you to note is that life, because it's important. That is why it is called compensation. Yes. It is called compensation because the family can never be indemnified. The value you bring to your family, to your wife. Yes, you might not have money. Yes, you might not have money. But that does not mean you don't have a particular value. That value cannot be expressed or quantified in monetary terms. Take, for instance, now, there are some children that will not sleep if they do not see their father. At least I've met people like that. They will not be able to sleep. How will the insurance company indemnify for that? That is why life policy only takes care of the person's financial obligation only. It is only the financial obligation that can be quantified and be redeemed. And in Nigeria, for anybody that has a family, when I say family, I mean both parents or wife and children. Because even the dead in Nigeria now, the amount they consume before they are being buried is enormous. Aton Cemetery, if you go there to price land that they want to use to bury somebody, you'll be surprised. To bury somebody in Lagos State before used to be easier, but now they have privatized all the burial grounds. That is one of the things the insurance company will take care of. Funeral arrangements, so that the children, the wife, or maybe the aged parents too, will not be in limbo. We take life insurance policy in Nigeria lightly, but it is important. It's as important as motor insurance. It's very, very important for anybody that do not want his family to suffer. You know, I'm equally your LMS, your e-tutor personnel. So I'm going to upload a typical life insurance policy for you people to study. And if you have any question, you can get back to me. And I'm also going to upload an assignment. Please. I hope I'm not
Hello, sir.
stressing you guys too much.
Hello,
Yes?
sir.
Yes,
Have you mentioned the fourth life assurance policy? What I have here with me is term assurance, endowment assurance, cash value policies. Which one is the fourth
Whole
one?
life policy. Whole life
whole life.
policy.
Whole life.
Okay,
Whole
whole life.
life should be number 2. Yes. That is the one
Okay,
you and
okay.
I know. The whole life policy is the one you and I are aware of. The one that benefit is usually paid to the beneficiary on
Okay.
the fact that the person is no more. If the person is still alive, nothing will come out. But if the person dies, yes, the beneficiary. That is the whole life. That is the one we know. And that is the very first one. It was after that one that term assurance started coming out, an endowment fund. You know, like I say, you cannot build a house on nothing. So when they see that people are not coming forth for the whole life insurance policy, they revert to term assurance. That, okay, if you cannot do that, why not do it for a particular period of time? When they see that people too are running away from that one, that after I've given an insurance company for like 6 years, Now that I'm alive, they cannot even look at my diligence and give me maybe 20% of what I've contributed to them. So the insurance company now said, okay, come for endowment policy, where either you are alive or dead, we will give you money, provided you are willing to wait for the contract to mature. And when you are talking about maturity, that means you are talking about a certain number of years. Just like you people now running this course, you are supposed to finish in the next 3 years. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So
Right, sir.
that is the maturity date. You are supposed to finish in the next 3 years. That is the maturity date. Although, you know, ASU strike can come in for you, but ordinarily, the maturity date of this policy, of this program you are running, is in
Hopefully
3
not.
years. And hopefully, by God's grace, ASU will not had one single day, and every one of you will be a graduate at that particular time.
Amen. Oh.
Amen.
And so,
Amen, sir. Amen, sir.
Amen.
Amen. Oh.
My name
So
is
please ask questions so that we can interact. You know, I did mean I'm in your class now. We can see ourselves. I will know the areas you guys are having issues on, and I will decide to tackle that head on. But here I can't even see you. I can only depend on what you tell me. So please help me so that I'll be able to do justice to what I'm discussing.
Hello, sir.
I'm listening.
Good morning, sir. Please, I want to
Good
ask,
morning.
is there other assurance policy like the group or joints or so like that?
You see, both group, both joints are being formed from these fundamental principles. They are being formed from these fundamental principles. Why is it group? It is group because the number of persons that is coming is more than one. Take for instance now, you know, you as an individual cannot go for a group. The most you can do is go for family, you and your wife, which is joint, and your children will be the beneficiary. That is joint. But when you're talking about group, the group is usually used for maybe a company. For instance, now Chisco wanted to deploy some staffs to Boronu, and they're about 5. And we all know that the road is not safe. We all know Boko Haram operates in Boronu. It can come up with a group life insurance. Why is he doing that? He's transferring his own obligation as a company to the insurance company, so that whatever happens, at least the insurance company will take care of the financial aspect, financial obligation of those staffs on his behalf, so that the press will not give Chisco a bad name. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yes, sir. But sir, is this in Nigeria?
Is it what?
Is this in practice in Nigeria?
Of course, it is.
For a company
It's just
to
that. No, I'm listening.
For a company to cover all the staff, the employees, and so I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, wow.
Yes, it is in practice. It is in practice in Nigeria. There's so many companies that does that. You know, the group thing that I'm talking about now, firstly, I'm talking about term assurance. It can be extended to whole life too. There are so many companies that once you are a staff of that place, you are being covered. So if anything happens to the person, while the person is still a staff of that establishment, a sum will be paid on behalf of that company to the beneficiary by the insurance company. There's so many companies that does it in Nigeria. Because, you know, God forbid now, the person dies enough. Even if the person do not die enough, he die in his home. Of course, the company will send delegates to the man's house. On behalf of our company, we came to sympathize with you. And that sympathy does not come with mouth only.
Wow.
They have to package something. So it's the insurance company that will take care of those things. So it is a must. It's even yes, there is no law, there is no stringent law, but industries, companies now are beginning to see the importance of it. I'm certain that about 60 to 70% of companies in Nigeria that is doing well have all these policies, have this insurance cover for their staffs. It's very, very important. Yes.
Yeah. Good
Wow.
morning,
They
sir.
do.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
You're welcome, my brother. Another question?
Yes, sir. My
Okay.
name is Adekunle Agbola. I would like to ask, what happened to the proceed of a life insurance policy if both the insured and the beneficiary died at the same time? So, who is legally entitled to receive the insurance benefits?
Wow, that's a very good question. That is why when you are entering a particular contract, because the insurance company will not even go out of what you guys have agreed upon. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
It's a contract. Those are one of the shortcomings of things like that. So, in a situation like that, if there is no beneficiary that the insurance can pay the sum assured to, the money will be kept in the insurance company. Because I don't want to believe that what you have asked is impossible. Yes, we've seen a situation where the man, the wife, all the children, the father and the mother, just like what Boko Haram is doing. Because somebody must come forward. Somebody must come forward to claim it. That is one. The person coming forward must be tied to the policy holder. Are you getting me now?
Clearly,
Yes,
sir.
the person coming forward must be able to be traced to the policy holder. So that's where the issue is. You have asked a fundamental question, and that question you have asked is researchable, because the problem should be solved. The problem should be solved. It's one of the reasons insurance companies, people don't want to patronize insurance company, because they felt that it happens in banks too. It happens in banks too. The ones that you go to deposit your money, as long as nobody, because the bank will not come looking for beneficiary. It is the beneficiary that will go to the bank to look for the bank. And as long as nobody comes to the bank will not do anything. They will look at their book. Is there a relationship? Is the deceased, as the deceased mentioned this person as my beneficiary? So that's one of the things. Is the directors and the banks, or maybe the insurance company, that will keep the fund aside for a while. You invest it back into the company, and maybe later the fund disappears. That's the hard truth.
Thank you
That's
very
the
much.
hard truth. You're welcome, my brother. What's your name again?
Adekunle Agbola.
Adekunle Agbola. I have noted that. I've noted that.
Thank you, sir.
And we'll do more research on it and how that can be covered.
Thank you very much, sir.
God bless you.
Amen, sir.
I think any question, I think we've passed our time. I don't know if you guys have another class now.
Yes, sir. We have another class now.
Financial accounting.
I'm sorry. I have done what I think I can do. Maybe when I come to class physically, I'll be able to do better. But please feel free to tell me areas you want me to improve upon. Like I said, I'm your e-tutor as well. You can reach me by uploading a comment of what
On the
exactly
LMS.
you want from me. Yes, LMS. LMS. So thank you, Madam Ruth.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Maybe